Right, let's do it. Let's get it done. Coach Helen for UFit Studio, talking about slow weight loss and benefits. Now, if you didn't catch my live yesterday, where were you? I did it as slowly as I possibly could. It was about tortoise and the hare yesterday. I won't go into it too much because some of y'all were on it. However, tortoise on the hare, who wins? Tortoise! Tortoise probably comes out skinny mini at the end of that story. I won't tell it again. As I said yesterday, I'm available to scare your children to sleep at any available time. Just book me in. Contact Bav and say, please could you arrange for Helen to scare my child into sleep? Right there. The moral of the story yesterday was, and it's carrying into the live today, is slow is better because consistency pays off. Now, in specific with weight loss, I'm going to talk more about the tortoise today than the hare, because yesterday the hare was the focus. The hare's the fast tracker, Speedy Gonzalez, arriba! And the tortoise, well, I said the tortoise was the winner, right? I said the reason why. Now I'm going to just look at Kate Stitch's babysitting. Once upon a time. Just shout me out some stories you'd like me to do, Kate. You just let me know. I can be there for whatever. How to scare a child. Today's sidetrack, I'm going to talk about my experience with the tortoise in particular. And yesterday I spoke about how often the challenge of a coach is turning someone's mentality from a hare mentality into a tortoise mentality. Now, why do I want someone to become the tortoise mentality? I touched on a little bit yesterday. However, I'm going to go into it a little bit more now. So if you think about, for me, my personal experience so far as a coach. Now, how many years deep am I? I say it like that, like I've been in the war against fat loss. Hey, where are we? I don't think it's like 3 years, maybe. I should get the timeline out at some point and work that out. So over that time, it's been enough time to work with consistently the same clients for a number of years to see definite trends when it comes to weight loss, journey, behaviour, habit, right? And some of this stuff I've brought to their lives before because it's good for people to understand the journey, what might lie ahead for them at a certain stage, and also to validate what they might have already experienced themselves. Now, from my experience so far as a coach, this is one of my personal beliefs, and any other coaches may disagree with me, and you know how much I love that. I love a debate. Heather, please debate me. This is the emoji for debate. If Sam comes on, we're like, yeah, come on then, Sam, debate me. Debate. In my experience, if someone is consistently losing a small amount of weight over a long period of time, they are more likely to experience that weight staying off than bouncing and yo-yoing. So realistically, when I'm saying that, I'm probably saying like, let's say I tried to do maths the other day, remember, it didn't go well. We'll just say it's £2 a month. If I see a client losing £2 a month on average, and maybe sometimes it's 3, maybe sometimes it's 1. If I see that throughout the whole year, I'm quietly, quite a lot, about 90% confident that actually that client has taken on board everything that I've taught them, is open to the journey, is looking at it as a long-term race, right? So again, if we're going to use the analogy of the tortoise, this client is looking at it like the tortoise already and saying this is a long-term thing. If a client comes in from the off and says, I understand this is a long-term journey, I understand that it's going to take me some time to get there and I'm willing to put the time in, and they're losing like literally £1 to £2 over a month, every month on average, right? So on average, right? So it's on average, then I know that they're actually taking everything on board from a nutritional point of view and from a mindset point of view, and that actually I'm going to be working with them for a long time, right? So I'm looking for clients for about 3 years. I know then from now I am going to be working with them for quite some time because they're looking at it from a tortoise mentality and not the hare. And why is it Oh, look, Heather's saying she can't debate it. Just for argument's sake, just fight with me, Heather. Just fight it out. Come on, man. I won't see you until Saturday. Let's go. However, so Heather's agreed with me. Coach Heather's agreed with me. So why does it stay off? I touched on it again a little bit yesterday with the hair mentality, but I'll go over a little bit now. I'll go into what happens if you're the hair briefly, because remember I said focusing on the tortoise today. The hair, remember I said yesterday, the hair tends to be someone who goes hard and fast, gets knackered, has a bit of a lay down, goes to sleep for a bit, and then comes back to it later. Usually when they put some weight back on. The tortoise, let's take the tortoise, right? Because this period of time I'm talking about now is a period of time in which the hair's asleep, right? This is the tortoise in that particular window of time, right? That person is taking the time to understand what works for them, right? So what works for them? Their brand of tortoise. Let's get deep on this tortoise business. Why not? That's what you usually do. It's like me in the middle of the lockdown. Do you remember? Just ranting madness and just going off on tangents. This is a bit what it's like though, because no tortoise is the same. So that tortoise is slowly going along, finding new and different ways to take on board, losing that 1 to 2 pounds over a month on average, right? And is still methodically walking slowly towards the line. What do they also do? So someone who's looking at this from a slow weight loss point of view, the understanding that the benefits of health, so the benefits of health over weight loss or fast weight loss are more, I wouldn't say important, however they prioritize it differently because they see that the overall health decisions, so they see the journey more is what I'd say, right? So if someone is speeding through their journey, they're unlikely to see, and again this ties back with the 7 ways you know your plan is working, which I did last week. Someone who's racing through their journey is not also seeing the other things they're benefiting from a health perspective, those 7 things I talked about, when they're doing it as fast as possible. Now, if someone is doing it slowly, the benefit of a slow weight loss is it's a lot easier for them to be able to see and understand the other benefits they're experiencing that I went through. So like having more energy, like sleeping better, like not having energy jips, to feeling generally more endurance or strength, right? These are all things that nothing to do with the number, whereas the hare is always looking for the number, the tortoise is blending it to their lifestyle, so understand what works to them, then blending it to their lifestyle, the understanding that health is the priority and not seeing the weight shift continuously all the time. They have the time, right? So they take the time, a bit like understanding the seven benefits other than weight loss, to dial into different things, right? So they can dial into hunger levels, right? Fullness levels. They've learnt their own behaviours when it comes to those elements. So they've learnt their behaviours around hunger. They've learnt their behaviours around fullness. They understand their triggers when it comes to food. They've taken the time to pause, right, to have a look at their results, understand week on week, stop, be aware, mindful, right, to relate back over the week and see how they've changed something and what the outcome was, and see what the benefit was as well. A slower pace, right, so the mindset matters, all right? Now, if someone's doing it, this is another reason why somebody keeps the weight loss off when they're slow and consistent, and why slow weight loss has its own benefits. Because if somebody speeds through the process from a physical point of view, mentally I always hear the same response from a client. Again, going over the number of years of when I've worked with a client who is the hare, right, and does quite well maybe for some time, right, really goes through that first section, loses a ton of weight, right? Just a lot of weight. They will usually say to me, I just don't see it. I look in the mirror and I don't see what people talk about. I don't feel the way that people say I look. I don't feel confident. I don't feel comfortable in my body. I don't like looking in mirrors. I'm still not happy with how I look. I still see the same person in the mirror as when I started, or in photos, right? These are all signs that someone's mindset hasn't shifted with their physical change, right? And often when someone's in a speedy mindset, right, they're not able to see that because they're still looking at the overall goal, not what's happening right now. They're not taking the time to do it slowly, to start to really dial into, a bit like the hunger and fullness, they're actually not dialing into how their body feels, not dialing into how emotionally they're changing with the journey. They're just wanting the constant change. They want it more. They still haven't dealt with the first step of it. So what you see with there's a balancing, is what I call it. There's a balancing of mindset when someone is losing weight slowly. That means that actually, more importantly, going back to the original point of someone who doesn't put the weight back on, is that because they adjust all this, they understand how to keep it, how to keep moving forward. So rather than kind of rushing and, again, like the hair, having to have a sit down, not really understanding what's going on, not getting any kind of perspective, just in that tunnel, the tortoise, the person who loses slowly, benefits from being able to change their mindset along the way and understand, right? What else to do? A lot of learning, right? I mentioned behaviours before. I always talk about it in lives, right? I talk about the what's, the whys, and the hows. So what do we do? Why do we do it? And how do I want to change it? Now, the benefit again of slow weight loss is that somebody can take the time to reflect on this, right? Definitely with a coach. Again, that's part of what a coach does, is to reflect with the client and say, okay, what happened last week? Why do you think it happened? And how are we going to change that this week moving forward, right? That is simple and yet very effective way of looking at slow and consistent changes in behaviour, understanding it, reflecting on it, and then making a change or a decision to make a change. Now, someone who's doing or understands the benefit of doing it slowly will make slow changes. They will be somebody who will want to take the time to understand their own behaviours and actually say, okay, I'm going to, and again, this goes back to another life, taking responsibility. Okay, what did I do? Well, what didn't I do? What happened? What did I promise myself would do and made a story around and not doing it? What was I planning to do and what got in the way of it? Why did something get in the way of it? Or why didn't I do the thing I said I was going to do? Or why did I do the thing I said I wasn't going to do? And then how am I going to change that behaviour? Right? If someone's in this is dealing or looking again as a whole health change, right? Again, if someone is looking at the benefits of a slow health change over a long period of time, they're going to be more open and willing to look at those aspects and say, right, what, why, and how. So what have I done? Why have I done it? And how am I going to make a change? So I come back to next week and speak to my coach and say, okay, this happened. What happened this time? Oh, great. Why did it work this time? Because I did that. And how did I make it happen, right? So these are things that somebody, the benefit of slow weight loss allows somebody to be able to see this stuff, to identify it, know how to reflect on it, and be able to discuss it. Again, right, looping back to my initial observation. Again, Sam's not come on to disagree with me. But however, I'm going to Sage just come on and say this. So I'm going to repeat for those coming in later. My actual firm belief, and it still works with this, right? If you know your what's, your whys, and your hows, those people will not go back up to where they started in terms of weight. Those people are slow and steady will not ever, in my experience, will make a big statement. Whew, I feel like I'm make a big statement like this, and then I get a call from a client going, I've pulled the weight back on in a week. I'm like this. But we did what, why's, hows? However, I'm joking. Actually, in all seriousness, if someone's deploying this system, right, this strategy, and doing it because they're understanding their behaviours in the slow pattern, they're reflecting, they understand it all, they're looking at it as a health, they're looking at the benefits of and understanding they're getting this, by the way, by doing it slowly. They are always people who will not go back to where they started, because they'll deploy this plan, right, with their coach and take the time to really reflect on it. So the studio's got involved. I love when the studio got involved. Yeah, the tortoise takes it all in. True that. Consistency, little manageable steps forward. Do you think this little tortoise has a little nibble of lettuce along the way? You can eat more than lettuce, by the way. You don't have to eat like a tortoise. Progress, adaptation, the complete picture. Go toy toys. Yes, go toy toys. And that's why the slow weight loss is always more beneficial. I think, again, this is why these two lives tie together, really. If you think most of us are programmed to believe that faster is better, that the number one, the speedy, the first person across the line, regardless, is the winner. And actually, like we talked about yesterday, it never is. The slower the better. And get this is another statement I'll make. So I'm making that statement. The slower the weight loss, the better. Statement 1. Statement 2. The slower, the better, the healthier. Now, I'm not saying from a physical point of view, although that has its drawbacks, is extreme, right? That's rare. Let's get real. I mean, it's very rare that somebody goes completely cray overnight. When I say the healthier, to me, I'm talking about healthier in mindset. So to me, it's always a mindset game. So the slower the better. The slower, the less likely you are to put the weight back on. And the slower, the healthier from a mindset point of view. Now, I said this before in a live, and I'll say it again. I'll sit down with a new client and they say to me, how long will it take me to lose all my weight? And honestly, what I do say is that, and it's always a perception of being the first year, I always say 3 to 4 years. Really? Alice? Ooh. So, would you want to lie to you and tell you it's like the hair and it's going to be overnight? Or would you like me to tell you the truth? Because all of this, what I've just gone through live, is a genuine experience I've had with clients so far. That the slower the better, the more consistent, the healthier. And actually, physically, if you look at some of our clients, they've been even I was a client myself, like going into 4 to 5 to 6 years. They're some of the healthiest human beings around from a physical and mental point of view. And what they've done, they've invested the time, they've become the tortoise and accepted that actually their goals for long-term health require a tortoise mentality. And guess what? They don't ever stop. Because there is, in their head as well, and this is the thing about the tortoise or slow weight loss, is that for the tortoise there is no finish line. Because they'll probably just slow down even slower, or just move the line, right? For the hare, there's always a finish line. For the tortoise, there isn't. And that's why the tortoise is continually always moving forwards, right? Doesn't mean it doesn't win out eventually, because the tortoise is always going to be one that ends up in a better position. Or the analogy of weight loss, they will always end up in a better position overall, long term. It's not an immediate downward amount of weight. Long term, though, they will always benefit, right? Even if there's no finishing line for the tortoise. True story. Right. My sweaty palms to recap. That didn't even clap. That was like a wet fish clap. Fit. Right. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna have a shower after this. Recap. So I talked about the tortoise and the hare, and today I'm saying the benefits of slow weight loss are really specific to the tortoise, because in my experience so far in the many YouFit years, like tortoise years, they're different to normal years, YouFit years, in the last 3 million years, because that feels like it, if someone does it slowly, they will keep the weight off, right? And why? Because they take on board that it's about health and not a short-term drop in weight. They understand that it's blending to them, to their life, right? To their variety of tortoise. They've got to find something that works for them, right? And when they do, they understand it's for life and not just for Christmas or January, as it turns out. What else? They understand, they take the time to dial into different things that we take for granted if we're speeding through life. So they understand the fullness and hunger cues. They've learned about their own behaviours, they know they're doing their own behaviours, they understand them, they know the triggers, they take the time to reflect, look backwards, look at the short-term past, see the different things they've been doing. So what they've been doing, they're looking at how to change their mindset, right? Because they want to get to their overall weight and accustomed to it, not going through it so fast that they haven't accustomed to how they mentally feel about their bodies, right? That they're seeing what other people are telling them in the mirror, right? I said, if you're in the hare mentality, you don't take the time to adjust your mindset to the person you're becoming. You also get it's like your body goes too fast for your brain, and that's a common thing you see if somebody isn't looking at it as a slow weight loss and the benefits of slow weight loss. And then the 3 things which I love to talk about in my lives, and it's so good when it comes to looking at your own behaviours, and why the tortoise is so good at this, because they understand and take the time to understand the whats, the whys and the hows, right? They can do a live on its own, right? Take any situation you've been in, weight loss or otherwise, and say, what did I do, why did I do it, and how can I change, if I want to, that behaviour to get a different outcome next week, right? Someone who's speeding through the process will not see the value in reflecting on that, because they're too busy trying to get to the finishing line. And that's why, again, slow weight loss gives those benefits, because it ensures that you don't go backwards, right? You don't go back, you don't put the weight back on. And I ended with the statements, right? I said the slower the better, right? The slower the less likely you're going to put the weight back on, and the slower the healthier from a mindset or mental point of view. So that is slow weight loss benefits. Oh, tomorrow. Oh god, I'm looking forward to this one. This is a banger, right? Look at my notes on this one ready, right? You ready for this one for tomorrow, people? Come on, please. Because this is the question this is the question I hear. Other than the question I used today, which is how long will it take me to lose all my weight, Helen? Question number 2: what should I eat? Tomorrow's live. What should I eat? Question 1: how soon will I lose the weight? And question 2: what should I eat? Heather, bring your best recipes, my friends. Look at this. Heather, what should I eat? Join me at 5 tomorrow for that. In the meantime, enjoy the molten lava that is the outdoors, and I will catch you tomorrow. Ciao.